All right, Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.
All right. So this is the Most High's High Holy Day, memorial blowing the trumpets. Okay, Kun. And we're just going to go over the scriptures concerning the memorial blowing the trumpets. And remember, Akim, Akwath, it's also the new moon, okay? It's also the new moon of the Most High when you read the scriptures. We're going to go into Leviticus 23. We'll start with that. Leviticus 23rd chapter and the 24th verse. The memorial blowing of the trumpets is one of the high holy days the Most High gave Yasha'Allah, nation of Israel, coming out of Egypt, coming out of bondage, out of Egypt. That was one of the high holy days the Most High gave us to celebrate and worship the Most High. Okay? And so it also is, it also starts the first day of the 7th month with the Most High. Con? The first day of the 7th month. The memorial blowing the trumpets. It's a new moon. And it's also the first day of the 7th month. Con? Okay. So that you'll understand. And of course, the 7th month has about 3 high holy days in it. You got the memorial blowing the trumpets. You have the Day of Atonement. And you also have the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, all within that 7th month. Okay, Con? All right, so, but we're dealing right now with the memorial blowing the trumpets. Why does the Most High have a memorial blowing the trumpets? What's so important about the blowing of the trumpets and a memorial? What's a memorial?
Remembrance.
A memorial is like a remembrance, Con? Well, some of the scriptures we're going to go through, you're going to see why the Most High wants us to remember the blowing of the trumpets. And why do we blow the trumpet? Huh? Why do we blow the trumpet? Why do we blow the trumpet? And you're going to see as we go through the scriptures why it's important, why Israel, the Most High gave Israel the trumpet as one of the instruments, not only to call the assembly of Israel, but also the trumpet was one of the instruments that David had in the temple. Remember, you got to, when you read the scriptures, David had a whole orchestra in the temple. Harps, percussion instruments, trumpets, everything. Cornets, everything. String instruments. David had a whole orchestra in that temple. And we're talking about thousands of priests were able to sing and play music in the temple. Come? So to be able to play a musical instrument was very important. It was part of the culture of Yasha'Allah. You read the scriptures, part of the culture.
Read out of Leviticus.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chapter 23, verse 23. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation.
Right. So in that 7th month and the first day of the month is a holy convocation. It's a memorial blowing the trumpets. So the blowing of the trumpet itself, the Most High prescribed commanded that Israel have a high holy day, memorializing, remembering the trumpet. All right, we're talking about the ram's horn. We're talking about also when you read the scriptures about the silver trumpets. All right, remember the time the Most High told Joshua when we were going into the land of Canaan, Jericho. He said, march around Jericho 7 times and do what? Blow the trumpet. Okay, so the Most High commanded you to blow that. If you didn't blow the trumpet, then you didn't do it right. He wanted us to go around it 7 times, but specifically blow that trumpet each time you go around it. And that was how that was how the walls of Jericho were knocked down, by blowing that trumpet. The memorial of blowing the trumpets. So you're going to see it's on a high level, blowing that trumpet's on a high level. And it also calls the assembly of Israel together. 12 tribes of Israel, calls them together. And for different reasons. All right? You can call them to come together for a high holy day by blowing the trumpet. You can call them to come together for battle by blowing the trumpet. Understand? You can call the different tribes to come together by blowing the trumpet. There's different reasons why you blow the trumpet. All right? So that was a custom in Israel. I mean, here, you don't hear no trumpet being blown out here in this society. This society is weak. It's wicked as hell. All right? So understand what I'm saying? It's wicked as hell. So everything that the Most High gave Israel, the custom that he gave Israel, the culture, Esau, because he's the devil, he's going to go contrary to that. Understand? He goes contrary to it. See? How many people out here play the harp? I mean, you don't see people playing, you don't see too many people playing the harp. They took that away because Esau's the devil. But they know the harp is one of the instruments that you get close to the Most High with that harp. That harp calls the angels from heaven right to you. Read the Bible. It calls the angels from heaven right to you. It gets rid of demons and everything. Saul experienced that. He had all kinds of demons on him. They had to find somebody to play the harp. They got David. David played the harp. The demon left. Understand? So it's very so. But Esau don't want you to. He want the demons to remain in you. He didn't want the demons to leave you, right? So, and he knows that too. See, so but the trumpet is a very spiritual instrument, man, with the Most High. Okay, you're going to see that. Get Numbers 29:1. Numbers 29:1. Very spiritual instrument, man. So this is the high holy day of the Most High. So you should not take this day, and even though, we look at Passover, the Tabernacles, Pentecost, as high holy days, but the memorial blowing the trumpets, it's just as high as they are also, huh? Okay, come? It's a high holy day also. Because this is what the Most High gave Israel coming out of bondage, out of Egypt. Okay, Khan? All right, so this is one of the high holy days the Most High gave to Israel. And so we're supposed to follow it and remember the memorial of blowing the trumpets. Now, Numbers 29:1.
Read now the Numbers, chapter 29, verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you.
Yeah, see? No servile work, which means it's like a Sabbath, con? It is a Sabbath. Tonight's a Sabbath, con? So it's like a Sabbath, no servile work. The memorial blowing the trumpet is also the high holy day, the new moon, con? So it's the first day of the 7th month. Okay? So a lot of people think this is what? They think this is the 9th month? They think it's the 9th month. It is in Esau's world, but with the Most High, it's the 7th month. Con? First day of the 7th month. Con? So now we're going into what? So-called October. Con? How about that? Which they say it's the 10th month. Understand? So, but with the Most High, it's the 7th month. Okay, Con? So first day, new moon. Okay? So you finished that? 29:1?
Yeah.
Read it one more time.
Numbers chapter 29, verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you.
Right. So it's a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. So I just wanted to make this announcement, and the brothers and sisters watching, it's live, okay, on Facebook. The House of David. This is the House of David. We have a website, hodc12.info. You can go to the website, the House of David. Of course, we have a Facebook page, House of David. YouTube, HODC Uprising, House of David. Okay, Kun. And you can go to all those social medias. House of David is on them. And then check out the House of David and the videos and so forth, and the classes and the Sabbath classes and so forth. We have the HODC camp YouTube page. All the camp teachings and speakings. Brothers can go there and watch the camp speaking and look at the camp speaking and teachings also. But we invite all the brothers and sisters to come to the House of David, 191 Howard Avenue, okay, in Brooklyn, New York. Why? Because when it's a high holy day or the Sabbath, okay, or even just a regular teaching, brothers teaching on Wednesday and Friday night, there's nothing better than coming together and congregating together, because you get the spirit of Hamashiach when you come together with brethren and sisters. Understand? I mean, you can watch it on YouTube, but there's nothing better than coming together. Yahweh Shai said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he's there in the midst. He didn't say he's in the midst of you home watching YouTube. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in the congregation, he's in the midst. Come? So that's why we urge brothers to, go to Yahweh Shai. Ask Yahweh Shai, well, which congregation should I go to? And then Yahweh Shai will lead you. Okay, we're not saying just come to the house of David, but we're saying is you're better off coming to a congregation that's in the spirit of Hamashiach now. It has to be Hamashiach. In the spirit of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And then get to know brothers and sisters amongst a congregation, all right, who is teaching Hamashiach and teaching the scriptures in righteousness. Because that's where you're going to get the true spirit of this truth, and the true spirit of the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Okay, Khan? So we just want to put that out there, because it's very important, because our people, with the advent of social media, what you're getting is what they're giving you through social media. You're not getting the spirit, because let's face it, website, internet, and social media, it's all satanic. It's all witchcraft. You bring social media and the internet to the King David, he would put you to death and chop your head off. It's witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna bring no TV and all that to King David and talk about he seeing himself on TV. That's witchcraft. So you gotta understand. So the congregating together is the utmost, man. That's the highest level of the spirit of Hamashiach to come together in the spirit of Hamashiach. Come? All right, so that's what you want to be able to do. So the memorial of blowing the trumpets is the highest, one of the highest high holy days of the Most High. It says the trumpet or ram's horn was an instrument used for many reasons in Israel, right? In Israelite culture. It was used to assemble the people, give warning, alert Israel of the holy days, or a call to battle. How about that? So the trumpet was a very important instrument. But, we take it lightly now, right? But we got to come back to the understanding, remembrance of the high holy days, our law, statutes, and commandments, and really bring it to remember. That's why I said memorial. Remember. Okay? Remember. Because it's very important, because the high holy days, that's how we understand how we worship the Most High, through the high holy days. Okay? Every high holy day had what to it? Had a certain number of animal sacrifices. A lot of our people don't even know that. There's a certain number of animal sacrifices people do on every high holy day. But we can't do it here on this side because we don't have any animals to sacrifice. Okay? Not in the ghettos and slums and across America. All right? So, but in true essence, all that's coming back. Every Sabbath, there was a certain number of animal sacrifices. Every Sabbath. Can we do that now on the Sabbath? No. Because you don't have it now. But it's coming back. Okay? When we get over there in Israel, Mount Zion, all that's coming back. Okay? So on the new moon, there's a certain number of sacrifices done. All that is coming back. Okay? Get Numbers 10 and 1. Show you. Numbers 10 and 1 through the 10th. Go to the 10th verse. From the first verse to the 10th verse. This to show you how important the trumpets were with the Most High. On the highest order. Okay? Numbers 10th. Numbers 1 to the 10th verse.
Numbers 10, right?
Yeah, Numbers 10, first verse to the 10th verse. Numbers 10, first verse to the 10th verse. Go ahead,
Read out of Numbers, chapter 10, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece thou shalt make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly.
2 trumpets of silver. Con?
Con.
To use them to do what? Call the assembly of Israel. Because our people are hard-headed. You need something loud. Something loud to call the people. Understand? Something loud to call the people. A lot of people just want to talk, and all the rhetoric and noise going on to call the people's attention. Okay, Con, go ahead up.
Verse 3. No, Salah. We read 2 again.
Yeah.
Verse 2. Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece. Thou shalt make them. Thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeyings of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right. So what did the high priest do? They would take these silver trumpets, and when it was time to call the assembly for a high holy day and so forth, and call the tribes together, they would do what? Blow these trumpets, particular trumpets. And there was a certain particular trumpet you had to blow. And also, you got to remember, there's a certain sound of the trumpet you had to blow. If you had to blow the right sound. Because there was a sound for a call to war, there was a sound for the call the elders, there was a sound for call for high holy day. All right? Different sounds to call the people. Okay, Con? And that's something that Israel, we made up, whatever the sound was. Whether it was like 2 or 3 or 10 sounds of the trumpet, then that meant something else. Maybe 3 or 4 meant something else. Understand? So, and how they blew it. Okay? But they had to blow the particular trumpets the Most High said blow. Okay, Con? Okay, go ahead, up.
Verse 4. And if they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee.
Yeah, see? They had to blow 1 trumpet to gather who? The heads, the leaders. All right? So 1 trumpet would gather the leaders, but they had to blow it a certain way. So the leaders would know, oh, that's for us. That sound is for us. Come? And then leaders would all gather to the door of the tabernacle or the temple. Okay, come? Go ahead, up.
Verse 5. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie in the east parts shall go forward.
Now, how do you blow an alarm? See, blowing for the heads is different from blowing for the alarm. Do you understand? Here come the enemy over there, so you're going to blow a certain way, right? You're going to blow that horn a certain way. Okay, so the people can know, oh, that's a call to battle. That's not just calling to come to the high holy day, or that's a call to battle. Do you understand? So it was different sounds of the trumpet that we knew what that sound represented. All right. So that blowing the trumpet is very important. Come. Okay, go ahead, up.
Let me just say one thing. Let me read verse 5 again. When you shall blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. Now, for all those Facebook YouTubers that despise camps,
right?
It's a camp in the Bible.
Right, there you
I'm
go.
Just saying. Well,
right.
And also, the formation of the camps that were on the east part of the tabernacle, which camps were those, which tribes were those? Because I know there was a particular set of tribes.
There was a particular set of tribes, right?
So when they called the alarm that the east camp should go forward, was that because the particular tribe were in charge of that?
Well, remember, they would call the tribes. Remember, you had the tribes that would go to the east part of the temple, the tribe that would go to the west part, south part, and so forth. Understand? So, but remember, the trumpets would have to be sounded in a way that the camps coming to the east part would know that they were supposed to go to the east, and so forth. But all this was designed and set up for us when, you know, in ancient, when we were in ancient Israel. So when we get back in these days, you know, in the kingdom, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to set it up. Now, how it's going to sound when we blow the trumpet, I don't know, but we'll set that up. And when we call the battle, it's going to be a certain sound, and you would know. The men in the military, the men in you know, going to battle would know that's for them. Okay? Because if we blow, we don't need the woman coming. So, do you understand what I'm saying? The men got to know, oh, that's for the call of battle. The men got to understand? So, it's a certain sound. So, but it was all set up and designed in a specific way, which we knew what the sign, what the blow of the trumpet represented. Okay, come? Okay, go ahead, up.
Verse 6. When you blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey.
Right. So you understand that, Doc? You just said the camp on the south side. You said the second time. The first time was for the camps on the east side of the temple. The second time was for the camp on the south side. Understand? And so forth. And it went on like that. Because you didn't have all the 12 tribes or camps come on one side, all right? It would be too unorganized, too crowded. So it was all set up in order, man, in order. So the Most High is at the author of confusion. So we set it up in order. I'm telling you, the height of the military of Israel was one of the greatest militaries of all time, brother, of all time. And you could talk about the Roman Empire's military and their order structure, but they got it from where? They got it from Israel, brother. Greatest military of all time. And the best military, the greatest fighting men of all time was in Israel, Yashua. Hell, David had 37 mighty men. He didn't need his whole military. He said, 37, come in. Take down this whole city and state and country. There's 37 men. Come? You didn't need the whole military, huh? That's why, as you see, sometimes the Most High say, who's afraid, who's scared, go back home. I don't need you. I don't need you no way. Just give me the 37, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm straight. Understand what I'm saying, huh? Yeah. Because they were mighty men. Greatest military in history. Why do you think Esau got you on drugs now? Got you on crack and fentanyl. Because you were the greatest, you were the Superman. The real X-Men.
Sounds good to say, when you keep the laws of the Most High, and back in those, when you keep the laws of the Most High and fighting, you are immortal. You are. Because remember, the Most High controls life and death. Right. So He makes you immortal. You fighting in His army, man. Right. He said Superman.
Superman. Really? You talking about leaping a tall building a single bound? What do you think David's men were doing? They were leaping not just a regular picket fence. They were leaping walls that were 50 feet high.
David used to jump 70 feet.
Yeah. Do you understand that? How did you get up that high? All right, there you go. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said because you was with him.
Yeah. 50 feet high, 70 feet high walls, huh? Read Judah, the patriarch of Judah, Yahweh. He would jump walls that were like 40, 50 feet. That's right. And they said, oh, they won't never be able to get up here. Judah said, yeah. He jumped the wall up. And because the other brothers, you know, Benjamin, Levi, and the rest of them couldn't do it like Judah, Judah had to fight the whole up there by himself until they got up there. You got to read the other histories. But yeah, it was like that, huh?
He used to level cities with his voice.
He used to level cities with his voice, huh? His voice was like an angel when he would let out the cry. Angelic. It was so loud you could hear it for miles. We ain't talking about a block. We're talking about miles. You could hear his voice by himself. So imagine now if the whole military let out a shriek or a cry like that. That's why, we'll probably read a little bit of it, that's why the walls of Jericho fell down. Because it wasn't just one, it was the whole military. You understand? So if Yahweh or Judah by himself could do that, what do you think a whole military of Israel coming out of Egypt, you know? Understand? We were like, what, 600,000? Probably 1 million of us. Women and children also. So let's take the men just by themselves.